First thing he's got to do is listen to the doctors. Do not rush anything. The man's still young. He's in his prime. He's not on borrowed time. He's still got years ahead of him. Listen to the doctors. Come back, whoop some ass, take the gloves off. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Tell everyone to go themselves, knock some people out, and this whole escapade will be behind him. Doing interviews and showing the receipts and showing the doctor's appointments and all the rest of it, I don't think that's the way forward.
Tom Aspinall has been busy over the past few days explaining and defending his stance regarding not continuing the fight at UFC 321. However, the MMA pros doesn't like what the champ is doing, but Aspinall seems to be on a mission to prove himself right. Tom Aspinall also reveals that Dana White hasn't reached out to him at all since his fight with Gane. He expressed disappointment after seeing public statements claiming his eye was fine, saying those reports were inaccurate. Feeling let down, he noted that he has contributed a lot to the UFC and expected better communication during such a serious injury.
It surprises me a little bit, the face of the UK fight scene, all that stuff. It surprises me that you have no kind of relationship with him.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say. That's the way it is.
Has he sent you a text or DM in the aftermath? Hope you're feeling better.
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. He actually, like I said, he started giving updates that there was nothing wrong with my eye when that isn't the case. So I've done a lot for the UFC. So yeah, disappointing.
Do you feel let down?
I have been in contact with the UFC, so it's not like Dana isn't the whole promotion. But yeah, like I said, I don't really have a close relationship with Dana anyway.
Do you feel like they've taken care of you, the organization?
Not really.
Is that frustrating?
Disappointed, mate.
Yeah.
Disappointed.
Aspinall defended himself after his eye injury, describing the situation as overwhelming. He accepted that criticism comes from competing at the top level, but expressed frustration that some people believe he faked it. Aspinall emphasized that the eye poke was real and serious, pointing out that many jumped to conclusions without even watching the replay.
It's been a bit of a whirlwind, to be honest with you, because I know there's a lot of haters out there. Of course, this is professional sport at the highest level. We have haters. But when the eye poke happened, obviously, eye pokes happen all the time in MMA, unfortunately. And got the eye poke. Obviously, everything went on from there. Went to the hospital, returned home. Didn't even check my phone or nothing for a while. And then I realized people genuinely think that I faked this. People actually think that I was faking it. And then I was like, did people actually see the replay of what happened? Because that was a full-on eye poke.
Tom Aspinall is also shocked by the number of people questioning his injury. After frequent hospital visits and extensive tests, he prepared a full doctor's report to clarify the situation. Still, some accused him of exaggerating or seeking attention. Tom voiced his frustration at those ignoring the medical evidence and replay footage, calling them haters with nothing better to do, while expressing gratitude to the fans who continued supporting him and following his updates.
So then I was like, what is going on? Why are people thinking I'm faking this, after everything that I've been through to get there? So then I left it quite a while. I thought, right, I'm going to get all the doctor's notes included. I've been through it for loads and loads of tests for weeks. I've literally been in the hospital 2 or 3 times a week getting different tests. Then I come up with a doctor's report, and then people are like, he's fucking crying about it. He's doing a media tour on it. He's milking it. And I'm like, bro, if you don't believe the eye poke and you don't believe the doctor's reports, what are we doing? What's going on here? I didn't make it up. Go watch the replay, check out the doctor's reports. Look, man, I'm in the point where you just cannot please these guys. These guys are fucking losers, man. These guys are just crazy haters who have got nothing good going on in their life. Obviously, I still got a lot of fans. I wanted to keep my fans updated with what's going on, and I appreciate everybody that's stuck by me.
On the contrary, Michael Bisping emphasized that trying to win over fans by asking for support or portraying yourself as a victim rarely works. He explained that social media and sports audiences respect someone who doesn't care about approval. Bisping advised that all the talking should happen in the octagon and that off-camera explanations, interviews, or doctor updates only completely distract from that. His message was clear: focus on getting healthy, return strong, and let actions in the fight do the talking.
But yeah, the gloves should come off, and they should come off for everyone, because when you want the crowd to like you, when you beg the masses to like you, to get behind you, to get on board, they don't do that. That's not how this works in social media and fandom throughout TV and sports and all the rest of it. When you want to be liked, when you're trying to show that, listen, I'm the victim here, for some reason, it just turns people off. You've got to be the guy that doesn't give a damn. That's what people like. That's what they respect. When you step in the octagon, do all your talking there. Don't address this anymore. Yes, he's doing a big interview tomorrow, I heard, and he's going to come on there and he's going to show more doctor stuff, and he's probably going to talk about how he was annoyed at certain comments and things like that. Just ignore it all. Just ignore it all, get healthy, right? Then come back and whoop some ass.
But Tom is not ready to stop and still address critics who suggested he was seeking an easy way out, emphasizing that he had been preparing for the most challenging fight of his career against the formidable Cyril Gane. He clarified that his plan was to manage the fight over 5 rounds rather than going for a quick knockout. Pointing out that his nose bleeds easily from previous breaks, he criticized casual fans who jumped to conclusions from a small amount of blood, calling that mindset completely misguided. Tom Aspinall said, "I was prepared for the toughest fight of my life. Cyril Gane is a very, very dangerous opponent. I wasn't trying to knock him out, I was just trying to pace myself for 5 rounds. My nose is all good. I've probably broken my nose 3 or 4 times in my life, so if you hit me in the nose, it's gonna bleed." But mate, the casual noob hater MMA fan who sees one bit of blood and thinks that guy's losing a fight, it's wild. Tom highlighted how ridiculous it is to assume he's losing just because of a bloody nose. He mentioned taking some jabs and low kicks and insisted it's nonsense to think he was trying to find an easy way out. Tom Aspinall added, "These people must think I'm literally unstoppable if they believe that just because I've got a bloody nose I'm losing a fight. I got hit with a couple of jabs and a couple of low kicks. You really think I'm looking for a way out? Come on, mate." Michael Bisping also defended Tom Aspinall against claims that he was looking for a way out in the fight, calling that narrative absolute garbage. He acknowledged that Cyril Gane wasn't an easy opponent and that the first round was tough, with Gane successfully defending some takedowns. Bisping stressed that Tom wasn't trying to escape. The eye poke effectively ended the fight. He noted that it was concerning to see Tom still dealing with damage weeks later, admitting he knows how that feels firsthand, and found it alarming that 6 weeks on, Tom still isn't cleared to compete.
Cyril Gane isn't an easy guy, and that first round wasn't the easiest, but it was the first round. And Cyril Gane, yeah, stuffed some takedowns, so therefore everyone had this narrative that, Tom was looking for a way out. Absolute garbage. He wasn't looking for a way out. Cyril Gane took him out of the fight. I'll end on this. It was troubling to see that he's still having damage, and I know firsthand how that is. Granted, I don't think it's that serious, although the fact that 6 weeks later he's still not cleared for competition, that is alarming.
Meanwhile, the alarming thing is that Tom Aspinall is still unable to train while doctors consider surgery for both of his eyes. He mentioned an upcoming eyeball injection, which he's anxious about. And while he wants to get back early, he knows eye injuries need extra care, and without a clear timeline from the medical team, he remains unsure when full training can resume.
And then we get to the post-fight press conference, Tom, and Dana White is there, and his demeanor initially seemed to be one of someone who was upset, annoyed. And then he said the line that has been dissected, and you talked about it a little bit on your YouTube channel, where his take was Tom didn't want to continue. It didn't feel like he was defending you or the decision not to fight or the injury or even being critical of Cyril. It seemed like he was upset that the fight didn't continue because it was back and forth, and it seemed like he was actually rather complimentary of Cyril. When you heard his comments, how did you react?
Yeah, slightly disappointing.
Tom Aspinall shared that he's limited to light workouts, focusing on simple bodybuilding weights and minimal cardio. Double vision still impacts him, and sudden movements cause dizziness. So he sticks to easy jogging, cycling, and other low-intensity exercises. His training is gentle, just enough to stay active while he recovers.
He hadn't spoke to me. He hadn't given any he was already giving updates on my health, and he had no idea what had gone on. Yeah, so disappointing, mate. Disappointing.
The notion of it being framed as Tom didn't want to continue, as opposed to he got poked in the eye, he couldn't see, he can't get that stuff. That that phrase, the way that picture was painted.
However, Michael Bisping doesn't like this and said Tom needs to stop doing such things and start standing his ground with everyone. He suggested that instead of posting doctors' reports online to prove he's still unfit to fight, Tom should avoid feeding the haters who already push a victim narrative. Bisping reminded people that everyone clearly saw how bad the double eye poke was, calling it a real shame and an unfortunate situation. For him, the best response would be for Tom to return, unleash a dominant performance, and show no mercy along the way.
But going back to this thing what Tom said, no more Mr. Nice Guy. That's what he needs. He needs to start telling everyone to go themselves. Simple as that. Don't come online and show the doctor's notes. I understand why he wants to do that, because he wants to say, look, 6 weeks later, the doctors still say that I'm not fit to fight. But all one is doing in that situation is playing into the narrative of the haters, playing into this narrative that you're a victim, showing the world, that everyone, that you're vulnerable. You don't have to do that. We all saw you get poked. They were deep, they were double eye pokes, they were all the way down into the knuckle. It was a shame, it's a bloody travesty that happened, right? Just come back and whoop some ass, and along the way, take no prisoners.
Michael Bisping advised Tom Aspinall to handle Cyril Gane directly instead of sharing medical updates online. He felt that if Tom believed the eye poke was deliberate, he should confront Gane openly, challenge his character, and vow to settle it in the ring. Bisping saw this as a display of strength and confidence, while posting doctor's notes only pays into the haters' narrative.
Say Cyril Gane did it on purpose. Call him a pussy, because you're going to step foot in the octagon and you're going to get to fight the guy. Say, I am going to absolutely marmalize you. I'm going to make you pay for being the cheating bastard that you are. And it seems like the gloves are off to a certain degree. Not off to the extent that the fingers are going to be exposed. But yeah, the gloves should come off, and they should come off for everyone.
Arnold Ellen also shared his thoughts in the response to Tom Aspinall's eye injuries, saying he truly sympathizes with Tom and doesn't think he gave up. He explained that the more a fighter tries to clarify their situation, the less fans seem to care, as many aren't interested in the context. Rather than offering support, he noted that younger fans are often quick to call fighters inactive bums, highlighting how harsh the environment has become.
Such a tough one, because I really feel for him, and I don't think he definitely didn't quit. And he's definitely not like, you know, whatever. He's like, I don't think he's lying about his situation. But the more you put it out there and the people don't want to hear it, people don't care, right? This is what I know. Obviously my situation is quite different, but like, I know when I've been injured, if I put a video out there like doing rehab work, saying what I'm planning to come back or something, people don't give a shit. They just hear, people just hear you whining. You say, oh, I'm hoping to fight soon, but I'm still injured. People don't like, most fans don't go like, hope you're okay, like, you know, see you soon. They'll be like, ah, inactive bum, you know. So I think that's just the kind of we're dealing with these days with like young fans maybe.
On the other hand, Tom Aspinall also questioned Cyril Gane's conduct in the cage, suggesting that Gane bends the rules. While recognizing him as one of the most technical strikers in heavyweight history, Aspinall argued that someone with that skill shouldn't still be striking with an open hand at kicking distance.
What about this intentional, unintentional stuff? Because
you know, I can see sometimes how it can be unintentional, but if you stood at range, like when it happened to me, he was stood at kicking range. If we're talking, like, I personally think that Cyril Gane is one of the most technical strikers to ever fight in the heavyweight division. I personally genuinely believe that. If he's one of the most technical fighters in the heavyweight division, why has he not learned to punch with his hand closed at kicking range? Like, it doesn't make any sense how that can be unintentional. I wouldn't mind giving him a double eye poke and then we'll carry on.
So do you think it's part of his game plan to do this? But if you say he's a dirty fighter, he's a cheater, then it would suggest that he tries to do this in order to gain an advantage, right?
Well, he cheats in near enough every fight. I ain't seen the Cyril Gane fight that he's not cheated in yet.
Do you have any concern about fighting him again?
Maybe I'll be doing the fouls next time. Who knows?
Aspinall stayed firm in his belief that Cyril Gane's eye poke was intentional. After analyzing the fight footage, he noticed Gane repeatedly extending his fingers toward his eyes during the risky exchanges. Aspinall argued this wasn't a one-off error but a deliberate tactic to gain an illegal advantage, even referencing John Jones' earlier warning about Gane using similar moves.
Look, when I watched the fight back, that's when I really got the gist of what's going on. The guy was trying to poke my eyes out all the way through that round. Multiple exchanges, nearly every exchange that I could put him in danger. He had his fingers out pointing towards my eyes. The guy was cheating from the first second, and the way that he wanted to win that fight was to have me compromised by cheating. My thoughts on him, I think he's a big cheater. Look at all his fights, even John Jones himself, even the GOAT himself said before he fought him that Cyril Gane's a cheater and uses dirty tactics.
Meanwhile, the English heavyweight fighter also floated a drastic idea to cut down on fouls in MMA, suggesting that if one fighter commits an illegal move, the other should be allowed to return the same foul. He even joked that in his own situation, he'd double eye gouge Cyril Gane back just to even things out.
What I think should happen is if there's a foul, like in my case, double eye gouge was what happened to me. So if we want the fight to carry on fairly, I get a free foul on him. So I'll double eye gouge him back, and then we restart the fight. I think that's fair.
I feel like that might be a tough one to pull off.
Well, so's continuing when you've got no eyesight.
Henry Cejudo also criticized Dana White, the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and the referees over the persistent eye poke issue, saying the sport is being damaged by the lack of strict penalties. He warned that if officials fail to enforce real consequences, fighters will continue to take advantage of the rules.
One question for me on the eye poke thing. You mentioned Jason Herzog in your last fight. Obviously, there's been an eye poke problem in the UFC for a while. It's not the UFC's fault, but more the commission's. What is the solution? You mentioned.
I think everybody needs to man up. Dana White, the Nevada State Athletic Commission, the referees, and just make a fucking decision, man. If you guys can do it, like, dude, that's bullshit. If we're being warned in the back, and all right, then I'm gonna start taking my warning. I'm gonna start sticking in the eye too. I get a warning. Like that's not fair. Everybody needs to man up and step up, and create this and make this thing official. Dude, somebody could lose an eye. Bisping. I mean, how many other... Dude, these dudes are deformed for life, dude. That sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, it sucks. The one that happened to me, but two, man, it's Betch Cohead. There's a lot of people that have eye issues that you guys don't even know about. You know what I'm saying? So it starts here. And I think it needs to be immediate. And if not, man, I think people need to be held accountable for that stuff. If I also lose a fucking eye, dude... You imagine that? Like, oh yeah, oh good job, you're a warrior. Oh, okay, well, who's gonna give me my eye back? You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody needs to step up. Everybody, including Dana White.
On the other hand, Tom Aspinall also remembered his fight against Andrei Arlovski, recalling how a punch to the eye caused double vision throughout the match. He avoided sudden movements to manage dizziness, but still fought using essentially one functioning eye. He contrasted that with the Cyril Gane fight, where eye pokes to both eyes left him completely unable to see. Aspinall emphasized that continuing under those conditions, especially against a striker of Gane's level, would have been reckless and extremely dangerous.
I actually got punched in the eyeball against Andrei Arlovski, and during that fight I had double vision. I wasn't moving my feet around because it was making me dizzy, and I was adopting a stance that was kind of like this. I usually fight with my hands pretty loose. I was adopting a stance that's kind of like this so I could see him properly, and stood with my feet in the middle of the cage. So look, I fought through having one eye before, but when you get double eye gouged and it's against the rules and you can't see anything, like, if you're going to continue, that's just suicide, especially against a guy like Cyril Gane. Like, if I can't see somebody because of an illegal move, look, if it's legal, everything's good. It's a punch, kick, knee, elbow. We got to carry on. We got to fight through it. But if it's both eyes and it's an illegal technique, I'm not a dummy. Like, I'm not gonna carry on in a fight that I'm definitely not gonna win because somebody else is cheating and I can't see.
Sean O'Malley also showed deep sympathy for Tom Aspinall, believing the eye poke cost him a huge opportunity. He noted that a win could have led to a big fight with Jon Jones and brought more excitement to the heavyweight division. O'Malley also highlighted the division's uncertainty, pointing out that both Jones and Alex Pereira seem uninterested in facing Aspinall, leaving more questions than answers about what's next.
What could have been if Tom Aspinall goes out there and wins? What happens to his career after that? That's the Jon Jones potential fight at the White House. Like, there's so much that Tom missed out on because of that. It's super unfortunate, sad, and it would have made the heavyweight division it would have made it a lot more fun. I mean, the whole division's been so crazy with Jon Jones. You know, he defended an interim belt, Tom Aspinall. It's like, what do you? I mean, Jon Jones is done. Alex Pereira, he's probably not moving up to heavyweight. Like, you just rematch that fight. You know, the crowd was insanely loud, so it was like, I guess it was a big fight, but do you watch it again? Do you make that fight again? Jon doesn't want to fight Tom. Alex doesn't want to fight Tom. Man, yeah, I don't even know what you do with that fight. I think Dana said he's gonna make a rematch.
So, that's all we have from today's video, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Share your thoughts about the upcoming UFC fight card in the comment section, and subscribe to our channel to get more updates about UFC.